We are indeed ready to begin. oKhaliD versus Luis, best of 5. Thanks to all of you for sticking around. We had a sweep earlier, so had a bit of chat between the matches. Alright, they're both in. I had to make sure. oKhaliD is back in the Middle East, and he's got the absolute best possible connection from Middle East to European servers with 76. Luis in Spain with 44. I know you guys always want to watch. And what year is this? It's a oKhaliD bounce dribble, but he's also managed to 1-2 pass off the post. Oh, sorry about the game sound. I forgot to turn that back on. Here you go. You can watch the goal again, this time with sound. Lovely finish by oKhaliD with his classic all-time favorite move. Yeah, I'm sure all of you will agree with me that it was pretty cool to see him playing in London this past weekend. Finally silencing all the doubters who thought that he wouldn't be able to play threes for some reason because they don't watch Middle East regionals. And that flick was just about good enough. He's going to need to do better than that if we're, really going to get hyped for a flick, because Moxie was flinging them into the net earlier on today. Jaburian, thanks to the 28-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. oKhaliD just crushing kickoff possessions right now. Oh, he almost had the he almost had the fake of the goal here. He's going to pinch it in off the post anyway, but you can see that he really wanted that to just roll in. He stopped briefly because it would have looked so cool if he just let that roll in and didn't move. He unfortunately hit the post, and he remedied that by winning a 50-50 with a solid object. Only oKhaliD can win 50-50s with a wall. Yeah, oKhaliD was very stoic. I mean, it makes sense. That player is known for his calm play style in 1v1, known for being one of the most consistent 1v1 players and just consistent players in Rocket League. Makes sense that he would just be extremely consistent with his expression on land. Now, he's missed that open net. Didn't get the bump or the boost steal either. Didn't get a demo, I should say. Did get a bump, I guess. A perfect start for oKhaliD against a player who has, if I'm not mistaken, beaten him before. I think Luis beat oKhaliD in the DreamHack Boost Cup. Now, oKhaliD got a bit extravagant with that one. I think that was speculative to think that Luis would leave that bounce. And he will be punished with his first goal conceded in the game. Bubblegun, thanks to the 55-month Prime. How are you doing, man? Hope you're feeling well after the weekend. And anyone who's wondering why I say that, I did meet Bubblegun. Everybody that I met lost their voice, so I have to ask. 2 goals now for Luis. oKhaliD expecting more of an early challenge there. Tried to put the ball past Luis, who just casually turns and walks it into the open net. Luis is getting a much better look at the kickoffs now. Fake jump forces oKhaliD into the air. oKhaliD wisely saves a little bit of boost, but he doesn't concede immediately again. oKhaliD plays that nerves intentional. I mean, that's just simply not true. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but no, definitely he is very calm under pressure. It's what makes him such a good defender. What makes him such a good third man in threes. He's very good at spacing. He knows when his opponent's uncomfortable. He knows when he can put in a challenge. Your wrists were killing you from all the waving. There's a lot of waving around of arms in the London crowd, certainly. Luis thinking about the early ceiling challenge. Actually delayed it just a little bit. I like that from Luis, because if he threw himself quickly at the ball, there's a good chance oKhaliD would have moved it. The evolution of ceiling challenges is quite fascinating to watch. Once considered a risky move, now players are able to adapt in the middle of them, change their trajectory at will. Now that was more like it, at least with the power from oKhaliD. The accuracy let him down. His flick went high. Way high, I should say, over the bar. We got 2 12-year-old KSA beasts now. As if the the Roas Clears combination is not enough. What are their names? Mohammed X and Dr. Known. M7MD is Mohammed, if I'm not mistaken. So Mohammed X and Dr. Known. Are they both 12-year-old and top 100 or something coming out of KSA? They just... What do they put in the water over there? What do they put in the cereal? I mean, what on earth are they eating that this country keeps on producing so many insane Rocket League players. If I'm not mistaken, I think Saudi Arabia's got a population of like, what is it, 36 million? I think. I'm going to Google that just to make sure I don't get it wrong. Is it 40 million? 35 million, just under 34 million. Which is about double that of the country of the Netherlands. And it's about half of the UK, half of France. So, you know, the UK and France are the two most successful countries at the moment. I think Luis is starting to wake up. Let's see if he can ride the momentum of that goal. Get himself another one. Oh, Khalid's messed up his recovery here. Luis might just shoot. That shot's not going to be enough as Khalid decides to manage the boost. Luis mistimes the boost seal. Khalid stays well away from any potential landing there. Didn't want Luis to fall on him. Be able to follow up the shot. Luis goes all the way around and closes the score gap by one more goal. Well, that's a very nice play by Luis. Perfect hit. Any harder, he's going to struggle to catch up with that. Any slower, Khalid's going to make a touch. Always worry about getting the ball past your opponent before trying to pass it into their net. Khalid doesn't get any of the ball, but does bump Luis. Checks to see where he is. And knows he has a bit of time to turn around with that one. Now plays for the boost steal. Really going to try and force Luis into an uncomfortable position here. Force Luis to commit. And overextend perhaps. And has Luis done so? I think he did. Ran out of momentum and ended up a bit too side on to the ball to get back in the way of it after Khalid faked a challenge. Faked a 50-50, I should say. Now that's really what Khalid is looking for. He's trying to bait Luis into a compromised position so he can get a free goal. Doesn't want to take a risk with just a 1-goal advantage, but now he might with a 2-goal advantage. Luis, with the delayed ceiling challenge, makes quick work of the double reset play by Khalid. His boost management once again just gets him to the ball. Luis has to score quickly. One reset will slow down the setup for now, and the ball's ended up behind him. That's game one to Khalid. Luis had half a chance at the end there, but lost control and will lose game one. Moldy Midget, thanks for 21-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate that. And yeah, for somebody who's asking, this is going to be my last match of tonight. Don't want to do too long of a stream. My voice is not fully recovered from London yet, so I'm not in any pain. I feel totally fine to stream, but I don't want to push myself too far. Definitely going to be doing some short streams. Hopefully I can stream every day for the next week or so, because I've missed out on streaming for 2 weeks in a row. So I'm really going to try and get on that grind. Been missing it, and it's good to be back. It's good to be at a LAN, but it's good to be back streaming as well. So better start to the game here for Luis. What was he trailing by 4-0 before he began to mount the comeback in game number 1? So don't forget that Luis was certainly the player with a stronger finish. Oh my goodness, what a shot that is. I thought maybe he's flicked it into the bar, but it has gone perfectly under it. With some height as well. I mean, that's ridiculous. Now, you didn't need to get another touch on it, but even if Khalid was in a more defensive position, I don't think he was going to get a save on that one. Not without pull shot saving it. Oh, that was a high bounce. Khalid thought he had a kickoff goal. It really kicked up nice and high for Luis, so Khalid couldn't get to it. I was meeting the Falcons team. Oh, it was a pleasure. I most enjoyed, of course, meeting Ahmad's dad and younger brother. If you haven't seen apparently Jack's tweet, he tweeted out a selfie with Ahmad's younger brother. Really, really cute picture. Now, that was my bad. I think I met him before Jack tweeted that, so I should have farmed those impressions. What was I thinking? But no, truth be told, the last thing on my mind was social media when I was getting to meet the great Ahmad's dad and little bro. But yeah, look out all of our LCS. No doubt when that kid is 15, it's GG's for everybody. It's going to be that. You know the picture of Scrub when he played the original game Sarp when he was, I think, 6 or 7. Yeah, there'll probably be a picture of Ahmad's bro playing Rocket League at that age and then eventually going pro. Imagine the pressure on him though. It's going to be a lot of expectation. to get good. I'm not sure how old he is. How goods are speaking English? Well, I'm not sure, because a lot of the non-English, well, a lot of people who don't have English as their first language prefer not to speak it, even if they understand somebody speaking to them. You know, a lot of the people I meet, when there's a translator present, which there was, prefer to speak through a translator, even if they do understand. So I don't know if they understood. I spoke to Ahmad's father briefly, and I don't know if he could understand what I was saying or not, but all I do know is when I walked up to him, he said, "Hello, Johnny boy." So he knew that in English, which is an honor. And after that, we spoke through a translator for a bit. It was really awesome to be able to meet him. Yeah, they were lovely. Obviously very happy. I think I don't remember the exact conversation, but I do remember. I mean, I'll never forget. He thanked me for supporting Ahmad and the rest of the team with my streams. To which I said I would have done it. I think, you know, it's almost 4 years since I first casted Ahmad, so I said I would have done it if it took another 4 years to finally get them here. I would have kept going. So, and that's true. I would. If you know, if Mina's still not in RLCS now, I'd still be pushing for it until they are. Yeah, really cool to be able to meet them. I don't know how old Ahmad's brother is. If I was to guess, I'd say maybe like 7 or 8. I'm not sure. You get emotional? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but yeah. Now you understand why I wasn't thinking about social media when I met them. I was like, wow, this is a lot to take in right now. I'm meeting Ahmad's family and they're saying nice things. I've got to digest this. Plumtree, thanks to the 68-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. Dinky RL, thanks to the 4-month prime. If Khalid slept well. Or did he not sleep well or something? I heard that Khalid wasn't sleeping well in the run-up to the first days of the event. Didn't seem to affect him at all. It looked like he was totally fine. Based on the gameplay that we saw at LAN. He was a monster. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he was away from KSA for the first time, I think. So yeah, that's tough. It's very tough to sleep in a hotel bed when you're away from home ever, but definitely for the first time. Very tense game 2 here between Luis and Khalid. Luis has done really well on that challenge. Giving Khalid a taste of his own medicine. It's usually Khalid on the opposite end of these exchanges, being forcing his opponents to flip into the ball and then watch him roll it into their open net. What did I think of TRK getting 22 touches and MVP? Well, how many touches did everybody else get? You know, you gotta really count in the touches here. But yeah, probably every touch was a monster. Knowing TRK. Khalid levels up with a bump. And another open net. Did I meet AMS? No, I didn't actually. There's so many people that I didn't get a chance to meet at the London event because I was pretty much just running around, either getting ready for death segments or casts, or eating. You know, people forget we do have to go away and eat throughout the days that we're there. So probably that at some point as well. But yeah, I met a ton of fans, which was always it's always a lot of fun. Big thanks to everybody who came up and said hi. Again, we're still in a very close match here. Very close game. Luis, I feel like he does need this game after Khalid took the first one. Interesting to see Luis really try and beat Khalid at his own game. You know, there's been the occasional Luis moment where he's gone for his own style and tried to keep this in the air, but quite confident to take Khalid on in the ground game as well. And I mean, why not when he's having so much success with it? Another play where he's able to absorb Khalid as he overextends. I think Khalid might have been trying to floor pinch that one sideways, and it just didn't get past Luis in time. Can I do an analysis on G2 getting reverse swept from kickoffs? and laugh at them. I don't know about the laugh at them part, because it's too painful to watch professional teams not knowing how to do a kickoff. We'll see. I might do a post-line kickoff at what other teams were struggling with their kickoffs. I can't remember off the top of my head other than G2 and SSG. Why don't pros play with dynamic shadows? I did wonder that a few times, because dynamic shadows give you information that you can't sometimes see. That's why I leave them on, because I feel like when I'm casting I can sometimes see a shadow at the corner of the screen before the car will be there. So, you know, sometimes the dynamic shadow gives you something. It's also, you know, good for cinematics, where this makes the game look a bit more real compared to just toys driving around on a slippery surface. Apart from that, I'm not really too fussed about the other graphics. I turn my graphics pretty low to make sure that the frames are as clean as possible while streaming. Oh, great recovery by Luis. Just straight away flipped back to his net knowing a shot was coming. And he should be scoring here. Well played, Luis. Reads oKhaliD perfectly twice in a row. oKhaliD is trying to use the boost advantage he had. And Luis must have heard him and plays a 2-goal lead once again. Trying to work the ball around Luis, who's not too bothered by that. He should be able to close out the game from here. This is certainly wasting a bit of time. Oh my goodness, not just wasting some time, but scoring a goal of epic proportions. That is unreal by Luis. What? How did the second flick falling off the car like that? Oh my goodness. That was next level. Okay. Well, now the game's definitely over. What a goal to celebrate the win with. Luis just ridiculously launches the ball into the roof of the net. oKhaliD was pretty well positioned to react to the exact shot that Luis was playing, by the way. It didn't matter with the acceleration Luis is able to get. He even surprised himself in the chat, in case you didn't notice. 1-1. Well played, Luis. For the most part, this game taking oKhaliD on at his own game, the ground game, but the occasional pop-off to remind us what Luis is really about and what we've come to know him as. That is one of the all-time aerial greats in the 1v1 game. Origin Unknown 3, thanks to the Prime. Welcome to the channel. I like to think that was for Luis's crazy goal there. Lovely save by Luis on the early shot, which was perfectly placed by oKhaliD. That's actually good defense from Luis again, because that little turn was enough to make oKhaliD think twice about continuing the bounce dribble. In fact, Luis has tripped him up and he's going to open the scoring. It doesn't look like much, but just that little turn where Luis inched just a touch closer to the ball was enough to make oKhaliD think, maybe I want to actually jump and force him back here. He might really be challenging. It's those moments where you can get a big win in 1v1 with a very small move. Now oKhaliD with a very low bounce dribble. He knows that a bigger bounce than Luis is going to be all over him. Now looking to keep the ball high, knowing Luis is going to be relatively boost starved. Looks like he might be completely boost starved with that touch. Indeed he is. oKhaliD coming in again, this time playing for the bounce, except on top of his car instead of the ground. oKhaliD missed the mid boost there, wanted to grab it and then dodge away from any danger. Luis knows oKhaliD's completely out of boost, or certainly very low. Oh, but he didn't realize oKhaliD was going to be able to accelerate the ball like that. Even in a position where he misses a mid boost and Luis steals the back corner, oKhaliD's still able to perfectly path over the smalls and recover quickly to score. Alright, missed that comment in the chat. Lovely meeting you at LAN. Yeah, lovely meeting all you guys. Walden, thanks for coming up and saying hi. Oh, you had the theorem I am wet sign. That was a great sign. Anyone in chat remember the theorem I am wet sign from LAN? I had a good laugh at that one. I met the holder. It was an honor. Yeah, type 1 in chat if you remember that one. Theorem I am wet. What was the rest of it? It was like evidence. I can't remember. Can't remember the rest of the sign. Yeah, a couple people remember it. So it was a brief moment, you know. The camera operator just occasionally panned across the crowd and zoomed in on individuals, and at that point, oh, proof trivial, that's right, it was theorem I am wet, proof trivial. Yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, another oKhaliD there from oKhaliD. As he watches his opponent bounce off the ball. That's something Moist were exceptional at in the grand final. It's just tying and sometimes beating Falcons in the 50-50 game. Someone who's got to get a lot of credit for his 50-50s at the London Major. Well, I'll let you guys in chat guess. Do you know who most impressed with their 50s? Apart from the obvious Middle East overlords, the legends of the 50-50 game. Yeah, a lot of you guys in chat know it's Vatira. Well, at least for me, Vatira definitely caught my eye with his 50-50 game. He was a menace. Very, very difficult to deal with, and he simultaneously was able to handle opponents who were trying to force the ball through him with relative ease. Brilliant positioning, timing, and mechanics. Yeah, at one point he did 1v3 Falcons with 50-50s. He did do that. So you have Vatira right up there with oKhaliD, TRK, and Ahmad. I mean, as a team, I think Falcons 50-50 better than anyone else, but Vatira was crazy. He was right there, if not better, in the grand final. Smart bump there by oKhaliD. Had he played the ball immediately, it would not have been in a scoreable position. It would have been a bit too high. So instead of just going straight for the ball, takes a little moment to just bump Luis one more time, and then turn around for the shot when it's in a position where it can be scored from. Torment had the best defense. Yeah, for me, the defensive, outstanding defensive players at Landon. Those of you who saw my YouTube video today will already know this, but my top 3 defenders from Landon were, in no particular order, Vatira, oKhaliD, and Torment. I think they were the top 3, and then the best offensive players were probably, I'd say Ahmad, Yan, and then the third is pretty tough. Probably, it's tough to say. You gotta pick either Joyo or Rise. It's one of those two. Really depends what you're looking for. But then, I'd say Rise, honestly, for like the offense. But then midfield, I think Joyo, Astral, Beast Mode. I mean, if you're gonna, I think you've got to give 3 awards. Playmaker. I think what did we have? We had Clutch. Like the 3 awards in the major was overall MVP, defensive MVP, and offensive MVP. I think it would be cool to add the playmaker award, striker award, and then defender award, because the defender one is pretty clear. Who's challenging well, intercepting well, and making saves. But then you've got 2 types of offense. You can be the best offensive player in the entire tournament without scoring a single goal if you assist every single one. Like if you assist every goal your team scores, you're probably the best offensive player in the entire tournament, and you've not even scored. So that's why I think you've got to split up the offense into 2 categories. I mean, it's literally like that in the scoreboard, the goals and assists. So playmaker for me would be players like Joyo, players like Astral, players like Beast Mode, who really just outplay a ton of people every time they touch the ball. And then you've got the goal scorers, Yan, Rise, Ahmad, to take the striker accolades. So yeah, that would be my thing to note for the major. And then overall MVP for me, the only players in the conversation were Vatira, TRK, and Joyo. And Joyo got the crowd vote. Definitely, you could hear that after the event. They were definitely saying Joyo's our guy. Yeah, Vatira, TRK were the 2 I expected to be getting it going into the final series. After the final, the crowd swung it in favor of Joyo, who was honestly close enough. Like I think all of Moist, I think Joyo, Vatira. Oh, that's not the pinch that Kyle was looking for. Yeah, all 3 of them were very, very close. So giving it to any is totally acceptable in my opinion. Especially if the crowd's all chanting MVP when Joyo's at the stage. That was actually quite similar to Kaio's misplay, which I've seen a couple of people talk about. When Kaio did something similar to that in the London Major, I think it was versus Carmine Corp in the lower quarter final. Furia versus Carmine Corp. It was 2-1 for Furia in the last game, and then Kaio accidentally he tried to clear the ball when he jumped up for it next to his own net, and he accidentally just killed it on the goal line, so it was wide open for Carmine Corp to score. And I was casting that game, and I yelled, "Oh no!" The reason I yelled "Oh no" is because that is a horrendous misplay, and it's not not what Kyle was trying to do. But a lot of people were speculating that I was yelling "Oh no" because I wanted Furia to win. And while I will say it would have been awesome to see Furia in the top 4, because then we would have had 4 different regions in the top 4 for the first time ever. No, I wasn't yelling "Oh no" because I was overwhelmed with sadness for the fact that Furia had conceded. It was because it was a misplay. A similar kind of thing to the Winter Major. A lot of people were talking about when Dazarin yelled "No" when I think Rise got a save on the goal line from Arsenal. Now, I can't read Dazarin's mind, but as a fan of Rocket League and as a caster, he's probably hoping for an overtime Game 7 there. So naturally, he would have loved to see an equalizer. But I'm sure if there was an equalizer and then Moist won in, or back then it was Queso won in overtime, I'm sure he wouldn't have yelled "No." He would have probably like hyped up the goal. Like, it's all situational. You know, casters tend to want close games and tend to not hype up misplays. So you gotta bear that in mind before you go about and try and crucify casters. Me personally, you can come for me all you want. I sleep soundly at night. But leave my colleagues alone. Leave them alone. Me saying come at me is not an invitation for you to all come at them as well. Yeah, it was also probably just a no way kind of like no. Like, there's all kinds of different no's, but yeah, I recall saying "Oh no," but I think "Oh" might have got drowned out by somebody else yelling because we're try-casting. Or the crowd making a ton of noise as well. Yeah, that was a horrendous misplay. It's something I tend to do. If I see a horrendous misplay, I'll probably say "Oh no," because even if the other player is scoring to tie or scoring to win, that's the overwhelming emotion is "Oh no, that was a misplay. That is not what he was trying to do." I mean, that's what the headline would be if somebody like just own gold for no reason. I mean, the most obvious example is when Renegades played against, I think it was the Three Sins in, or no, it wasn't the Three Sins. It was when they played against Veloce in season 7. No, season 8. Siki just own gold for no reason, dunking on his teammate because he panicked. And that's definitely an "Oh no" moment. Nobody's going to be like, "Oh yeah, let's hype up this goal. That was sick." He totally just dunked at his teammate's own goal. Nah, that's no one's reaction. That's just not anyone's reaction. You can't tell me that it was your, like, I guess maybe if you're a Veloce fan, it's your reaction, but you know, and no unbiased commentator is gonna say, "And what a goal! Siki own goals and Veloce win." It's just not the correct reaction, in my opinion. It's not a natural reaction. You're probably going to be like, "Oh my goodness, what did I just witness? That's embarrassing, that is awful," and that is definitely not what he was trying to do. Don't worry, no one is a Veloce fan. Well, you better become a Veloce fan now, because they're the number 2 MENA team, and they're going to be at the World's Wildcard event. The shot set backflip, yeah, I remember that one as well. What event was that? I just remember the ball was bouncing in and shot set backflip next to it. He panicked. Fake ceiling challenge by oKhaliD here. Hold on. I am paying attention to what we're seeing. Oh, that's brilliant. Luis just saw that a mile away. Not the most convincing ceiling challenge by oKhaliD. I was wondering if Luis would flick early, but oKhaliD turned too soon when Luis is still landing on the ball, so he didn't panic. Had full control the entire time and guided the ball into the top corner quite brilliantly. He's playing such a controlled game here against oKhaliD, who's been on his game as well. There's definitely a clear aerial offense advantage for Luis. The creativity and just the level of shots this guy's able to produce. Something that oKhaliD, although he's recently been adding aerial play to his 1v1, still can't match. You know, there's certainly an advantage there for Luis. You know, oKhaliD's advantage, I think Luis is doing a good job catching up to oKhaliD in the areas where he's strong. Both players actually look extremely evenly matched today, where oKhaliD usually has the ground edge and Luis has the aerial edge. And then I think oKhaliD has the defensive edge and the mental edge, which is why overall in the history of 1v1 he's been a better player. But these days, like, that gap for ground game is very, very small. That gap for defense very, very small, and I think in different ways Luis is actually better than khalid. And I think khalid's probably better at challenging, but Luis is excellent goalkeeper. We'll have to find out whose mentality is stronger in the business end of the series, which is where we are now. Chief Big Fella, thanks to the 13th-month Prime. Also, Jotnik, thanks to the brand new Prime. Welcome back and welcome. It's a fantastic shot. Oh my word. Luis has ceiling pinched that on target. No, ceiling pinch, sorry. Crossbar pinched that. And he's read khalid's touch to himself and scores a fourth without any delay. Fantastic. So khalid's trying to pass the ball to himself off the back wall, take the corner boost, start a counter-attack, expecting Luis to be running away to look for boost somewhere. But Luis predicts exactly what khalid has planned and hard counters him. It looks like he messed up his kickoff. khalid will be in front by 2 again. That is purely mechanical. Still though, good finish with the read off the corner wall. How is Moist and Joyo in the conversation for MVP? Joyo is a very... I mean, he's the type of player who messes up other teams. Just simply being against Joyo means that you're up against new, you know, mechanics. You're up against things that other players and other teams just simply will not be able to do to you. When you've got a player like Joyo on the field against you, you're gonna struggle. It's a really good play again by Luis. Saw the challenge coming. Flicked it over the top of him. Yeah, Joyo's just a nightmare to play against, and that's, you know, he causes problems for the other team. And although you're seeing Vatira get a lot of saves and Rise get a lot of goals, if you just watch how Joyo plays, very often he's just making a touch that the other team are having to position awkwardly to deal with, or having to react quickly to deal with. You know, he's just a very hard player to play. Speaking of hard players to play, Luis is making this look awkward for khalid. khalid badly wanted a 50-50 there, but knew he wasn't getting one. Tried to fake it out instead. Luis calls him on the fake. Rolls it into the net again. 6-all. khalid didn't get the wave dash landing there. Still recovers quickly. As we approach the final 30 seconds, he's poised to take the lead once again, and does. A perfectly placed ceiling shot. And I mean perfectly placed. That was fantastic from khalid. Luis had a ton of coverage at the top corner there. khalid slots it for the 1-goal advantage. 34 seconds to go. Now it's Luis' turn perhaps to come in off the ceiling. Wave dashes. He's still got something to work with here. It looks like he might not have had the flip, otherwise just decided not to use it. khalid spied the rush challenge and puts himself in front by 2. Looks like we might be heading to game 5 here. And it's another situation where both players are kind of just using each other's moves. You know, obviously they're very versatile and both players have got a world-class ground game, aerial game, but to see Luis putting himself in front with ground game and then celebrating the win with a ridiculous reset goal, and now to see khalid win with a ceiling shot, followed by Luis missing one. You know, they're kind of like trading into each other's territory here, wandering, becoming just all-around 1v1 players. Makes sense though, especially with khalid's focus on threes, and Luis on that ones grind. He's been very close to the top of the leaderboard for the past year. It's only right that we go to a game 5 here and answer that last question that we talked about earlier. Who's got the mental edge? khalid would have loved a low bounce there. The fact it's gone high plays it into Luis' territory. If it's low, khalid could have just taken a shot straight away and probably forced Luis into an awkward position. Now khalid, fortunate there that Luis was not able to shoot on target before he got demoed. Otherwise he wouldn't have caught up to that one. Luis outmaneuvers khalid once again, who has to just settle for tripping Luis in the landing. But look at the boost management by khalid. Dodges the demo and pre-flips into the boost to get away from his opponent while also turning Luis boost starving into oKhaliD boost control. oKhaliD checking to see how out of position Luis is going to be here. He sees he's very out of position and shoots. Luis with a bit of a careless play there. oKhaliD just waiting. He's thinking, yeah, Luis looks like he's going for that corner boost. I'm just going to shoot this one. If Luis doesn't go for the corner boost, no doubt oKhaliD will inch closer. Just make Luis feel a little bit more uncomfortable before he decides to pull the trigger. Boost sealed by oKhaliD. Oh, he gets the ball as well. Luis is going to be annoyed by that. He was playing for the demo, didn't think that oKhaliD might actually just take the ball away from him while he was doing that. Abs89, thanks for gifting a sub to McBashD. Welcome, McBashD. Luis trying to pass this one to himself and immediately shoot, but oKhaliD's able to intercept that and again play it to the back corner. It's end-to-end stuff here, but strangely both players are the ones hitting it towards their own half. Now we get a bit of an advance from Luis, who's faked out oKhaliD in the midfield and will get his first goal. oKhaliD mistimed the boost respawn, and that caused him to just not be able to defend this attack. I mean, he really mistimed that respawn. It was such a quick venture into Luis' back corner that there was just no chance it was going to be up again. He probably missed that one by about a couple seconds. Luis decides to play for the boost management, the boost control, instead of taking a chancy shot. And no doubt pre-flipping oKhaliD. Air dribble bump. oKhaliD just shrugs it off. In fact, he does more than that. He out-muscles Luis and comes away with the ball. Just oKhaliD things. When it looks like he's about to get clattered into his own net and have to watch Luis score, he's the one bumping Luis out of the play. But Luis is quick to respond. Doesn't even have to defend oKhaliD's next shot. After witnessing the miss, he launches in a tie. Both players completely starved. oKhaliD was able to pick up a 12 pad. That allows him to beat Luis to the ball. Has Luis got that? He does it. He steps a bit too far forward. oKhaliD's in front again. Luis underestimating the power, but yeah, he just got a bit too close to the play there, and once again oKhaliD spots Luis out of position and drills a shot into the back of his net. Luis with a very nice setup potentially for another shot, and he makes it work. Fake the flick mid-air, wave dashes under the ball, and this time he does push oKhaliD out the way. Clears the route for the ball. Not that I think the bump was necessary. He managed to pop the ball top corner at the same time. Luis might get a similar kind of position here. oKhaliD has flipped away to the back corner. That signifies to Luis that he's got a bit of time to play with. Fake jump by oKhaliD. Now a real one. Luis tries to control the challenge, but it looks like oKhaliD's come out the better of the two players, and now off we go. Luis not going to catch up with that one. oKhaliD ahead again. That was not too far off from Luis coming out the better of the two players there. He did have more momentum to play with. Looks like oKhaliD just absorbed all of it. He's able to get a quick shot off. Now back corner kickoff for Luis. He's seeing a lot of possession after these, and none of the possession plays are too crushing. Double attempted. oKhaliD reads it. It's coming low, and he is ready for it. Saw the early challenge coming as well, and he knows Luis is spawning far away from the play. A flick is good. oKhaliD up by 2. I don't think there's anything wrong with Luis grabbing that boost after respawning. But he's been spotted on a couple of these aggressive challenges, both at the end of the last game and the start of this one. When I say the start of this one, we're already into the end of this one almost. Luis aerial game. Can't let him down now. He has another shot at it. Just over 60 boosts to play with. Fakes a pop. Gets oKhaliD to overcommit, but the shot on the follow-up, just not good enough. Luckily for Luis, oKhaliD's clear is lackluster as well, and he gets a third try at it, but no doubt he was hoping to score with that second shot after forcing oKhaliD into an uncomfortable position. A minute and 28 remaining. Luis reverses back into a position where he can collect the ball. He's got oKhaliD turning, avoids the 50-50. Now Can he get the ball into the back of KhaliD's net without overextending? KhaliD's on full boost management mode here. He is in a lot of trouble, but his 50-50 buys him a ton of time. In fact, he's completely turned this one around. He goes from a 100 to 9 boost deficit to ball control. Now he's the one stealing boosts away. He's got Luis to flip. This is getting bad for the Spaniard. KhaliD decides to back down. He's respecting Luis' boost management here. Both players are showing each other a ton of respect. But was that the play? Because as soon as KhaliD drove away, Luis had some time to control the ball, and then the next time KhaliD's challenging, it's too close. 5-5. 50 seconds to go. One of the best players in Europe right now up against one of the best in the Middle East, and it has proven to be a titanic battle. Now just 40 seconds. Luis on the ball. KhaliD shadowing closely. Air double bump from Luis, and KhaliD just goes through him somehow, like something out of the Matrix. He avoids a bump that looked an absolute surefire to get contact. He must have maxed stats in elusivity, because that was ridiculous. I don't know how he managed to avoid any kind of contact at all there. I mean, if he'd taken a little bit of a bump and saved it, that would have made sense. But the fact that he's gotten past Luis, taken the ball and scored it, is another level entirely, and it might just have won the game. KhaliD capitalizes on an early challenge gone wrong for Luis. He's up by 2 with 20 to go. That save has completely put him in the driver's seat. Now KhaliD in reverse. Just needs a good challenge, and the game is his. Luis has one more go with the aerial play. He's got to get going quickly. It's a double reset, and he just can't get it on target. KhaliD will be the winner in a fascinating matchup between two players who historically have been so different stylistically, but today stepped into each other's territory and fought brilliantly. KhaliD with some great aerial goals, Luis with some fantastic defensive positioning and ground play, showing that the previous strengths and weaknesses that these two players are known for are rapidly becoming strengths and strengths. Of course, still with the emphasis on their original strengths. Luis stealing the show with that outrageous goal. I think it was to win game number 2, but KhaliD takes it. Ever unshakable. So consistent.